Our next speaker is Grant Kirilli. Hope I've said that right. Grant, are you here? Jim Meeks. Natasha Pirani. Grant, Jim, or Natasha? No? Okay. We're on page 6. Top of page 6. Susan McDonald. Pardon? Okay, after Susan is Sachita Rajagopa, and then John Ray, and then Ted Berger. Go ahead, Susan.
Thank you. Thanks very much for this opportunity to address the Executive Committee. I've been a resident of Toronto for 20 years and a homeowner for 10. I'm a public library user and supporter. And my perspective is also informed by my research at the University of Toronto, where I study the role of public libraries in communities. The first point I would like to make concerns the proposed 20% cut to programs and outreach that is recommended in the KPMG report, which asserts that programming is not a core library function. I think it's important to highlight that a public library is more than a warehouse for books. Creating unique programs is integral to what public libraries do. It's what librarians are trained to do. As we have heard in many deputations today, library programs support reading, education, and access to information. And participating in library programs offer opportunities for children in particular to experience the diversity of our city. Library programs and outreach are core functions of public libraries and should have the same priority as collections and facility use. Secondly, I'm going to argue that the number of Toronto Public Library branches and hours of operation be maintained. I believe this is important because if we rely solely on circulation and program attendance statistics, we underestimate the other kinds of uses and value of public libraries. Public libraries are community centers. Like our city's parks and recreation facilities, libraries offer important public spaces where all Torontonians, regardless of age, income, education, class, gender, religion, or race, are free to meet, interact, and learn from one another. The right to have access to these kinds of public spaces should not be taken for granted. Another important consideration in preserving public library branches and hours of operation is that academic research has shown that public libraries play an important role in helping new immigrants to settle and to integrate. This fact is particularly critical in the context of Toronto, where the majority of newcomers to Canada have chosen to settle, and where nearly 50% of our current population is foreign-born. Toronto's public libraries are one of the first places that many new immigrants go for free access to computers and the internet, to find books and learning materials in their native languages, to get support learning English or looking for jobs, to get information about government services and community resources, and to make new friends. Even Canada's federal government understands the importance of public libraries to immigrants, as evidenced by the creation of the Citizenship and Immigration Canada's 2006 program called the Library Settlement Partnerships. This program partners libraries and immigrant-serving agencies to place counselors in public libraries to help immigrants settle into life in Toronto. By using library facilities and resources, such agencies can extend the reach of their services. Toronto Public Library has served our city well for over 100 years. It's an integral part of our communities. Let's not underestimate the value of this public institution.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Questioners from off the committee? I have none. Councillor Kelly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not anti-library. I've spent a great deal of my life socially and academically in libraries. But I know that we're living in an age of unprecedented change, and that we're moving with an amazing swiftness from print to electronic conveyance of information.
And yet library use is up.
Will the libraries of the future be the same as they have been in the past?
I think the institution is changing I think it's adapting to its environment, and I think that that's how it has survived 100 years. It has the flexibility and adaptability as an institution, and with public funding, it can become what we need it to be.
Would they necessarily,
Well, that was it, Councillor. That's the 1 minute mark.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sujita Rajgopal. Is Sujita here? That's 206. John Ray, 207. Ted Berger, 208. Mark Ferguson, 209. Mark still here? No, I guess he's gone. Marion Martin, 210. Marion here? Looks like Jeannie Martin.
If it's too late for the mayor not to be here, why are we keeping senior citizens? This is ridiculous.
The mayor's been here all day. We've been here 18 hours, and he's been here for just about every minute of it.
Keep going.
Judy Mandel. Jonathan Lynn.
I'm here.
You, Jonathan? Good.
Hey, folks.
Okay.
Hi, Jonathan.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Jonathan Lynn, and I'm from Vancouver. I moved here about 4 years ago. I've been living here and actually found my job here at the Vancouver Public Library at the Central Branch, the reference library. When they say people find jobs at the library, they mean me. I found a job on Bay Street doing investor relations and sort of financial disclosure, and I started realizing how many city services that I contribute to and I use. I worked the night shift. When the TSX needs to send out a news release at 2 a.m. in the morning, I was there. And I relied on the night bus to get home. I volunteered and served meals at the Out of the Cold program. And all of these issues we've been talking about, and it just made me realize how important these services are. But my main passion is the library system. I've traveled to Washington, D.C. to visit the Library of Congress. They have the best librarians anywhere on this planet. I've gotten a library card there, which required multiple security clearance passes. I've traveled to the New York Public Library. And I've recently just quit my job. I left my job because I wanted to travel to different libraries around the world to visit them, to figure out how they work, how they pay the bills. I recently found out that in Egypt, in January, there was a revolution. And the youths of a city called Alexandria, they stood up and they formed a human shield to stand in front of their library to prevent looters from sacking and destroying their library. Members of their army parked a tank outside the library so that, government sympathizers wouldn't destroy it. So I think this city council, just having boxes of papers, you guys have it easy. You guys don't have to face off against those really passionate people. And I do know that people here are extremely passionate. And I do believe that if you guys keep spending, what's the only thing that'll bring? You'll attract people like me to come to the city and to work for the Toronto Public Library. I'm about to embark on my trip, and I'm sadly that my time with Toronto is drawing to a close, but it need not be forever. When I come back, I want to make the Toronto Public Library the best library system in the world, using all my experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I do have one question. Councillor Davis?
Yes. Thank you very much, and certainly I hope you do come back and contribute to the Toronto Public Library again. So you worked at the reference library?
No, I searched for a job there.
Ah.
So I used the computer services to look for jobs, post resumes. I wrote my resume on the library computers, and I searched for emails, replies from people wanting me to go for interviews on the library computers there.
So I'm not sure whether you saw the methodology here, but KPMG has spent this entire document trying to find the median, and that anything above the median is where Toronto should be. Do you think Toronto libraries should be above the median and continue to be the best in Canada?
Yes, absolutely. In Canada, around the world, we have the possibility of doing that here. You guys have an excellent system already. It's one of the best I've seen. I've been to the New York one. It's pretty awesome, but
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Vaughan has a question of you.
Have you checked out the private library systems of the world as well?
No, I have not checked out any private library systems, but sort of private university libraries, for example, at Harvard. It's a private institution. I've been inside their library just for a tour. And I don't know exactly how their library system works, though.
Why is it that libraries across cultures are sustained as public institutions then?
I believe it's the accountability to the people. The people use the service, and it's a 4,000-year-old, 5,000-year-old institution. It's been around since antiquity.
And what do you make of people who say its demise is around the corner because we suddenly have digitized?
I believe that libraries must keep continually changing their collection. I personally truly do believe that we need to keep updating the TPL's collection. Sometimes I see books that are that I personally would prefer to be in digital medium.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fascinating story.
Okay.